I'm going to cut to myself, and once I see the audio, we will get going once I see myself. All right, cool. Looks like we are good to go, you guys. There's a lot of headroom, but let's see. Nope. All right, well, how about that? All right, guys. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name is Tori Cooper, and we are always so happy to see you here on our other platforms because we get to be a little bit more ourselves. We don't have a script in front of us. We're just getting to share the news with you in a very personal way and get to run the whole show from right here. So let's dive right into some of our stories that we've been working on tonight and some of the ones that we are pursuing and just ones that you may need to know about. We don't have video for all of the stories. We are still sending some of our photographers out to go gather some video from some scenes that we are following up on tonight, specifically shooting investigations. We're still working on getting some of that video, but we do have some other updates that we just want to share with you. So one of the main ones that we do have one of our reporters on tonight is the latest safety alert issued by the Atlanta Police Department following Iran's attack in Israel. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what happened, this took place yesterday. It was pushed out all over national news, but to ensure that everyone is safe here, the Atlanta Police Department has already said that they are working with religious groups, community leaders, and of course local law enforcement to ensure that there are no local threats made that are incited by the attacks that took place in Israel after Iran sent hundreds of missiles over there. So let's take you to Israel and show you some of what we were able to get some video showing the hundreds of missiles being intercepted from Israel that were sent from Iran. Now, this attack comes after an apparent attack by Israeli IDF soldiers. There's an apparent, let me just make sure I'm getting this right. I just want to make sure. Yes, I had it right. The apparent Israeli attack on an Iranian embassy complex in Syria. Now, this apparently took place earlier this month. 2 Iranian generals were killed and 5 officers were killed in that attack. And now we're seeing this happen in Israel. So a lot of emotion around this. We've seen many protests following what's been going on in Gaza, and Israel as well now is coming under fire. So our local law enforcement is just basically letting everyone know that they have an eye on the developments of what's going on there to ensure that nothing happens here. So that's always good to know and good to keep our eye on. So we will continue to follow what's happening in Israel, what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in Iran, as the war in the Middle East continues to escalate. So that's what happened here, and it's the local tie to what's going on in the Middle East. So now let's move along and let's talk back locally. I always want to keep our emphasis on what's happening around you guys right now. And so I want to talk a little bit about what happened this morning. It's spring break. A lot of the kiddos are enjoying that time, but sometimes it doesn't always go well. If you're out too late, usually, is what my parents used to say. And last night, that's exactly what happened. Early this morning, police tell us that they responded to a shooting investigation that was transpiring in southwest Atlanta. So let me take you there because it was apparently after a prom after party. They said it took place outside of the after party. We have our Atlanta News First reporter Asia Wilson on this story, so I'm going to let her pick it up from here and let you hear the details of what she was able to gather at the scene.
I'm not really angry. I just want it to stop.
Marilyn Whitener is pleading for violence to end after a shooting early Sunday morning as more than 50 high school-age kids gathered for an after-prom party very close to her home on Moreland Drive Southeast.
It shouldn't have been that many children there, first of all, and where they served alcohol.
While police say the shooting happened in the street, they say the kids were having a party at an Airbnb.
Even if it wasn't at the house, Children doing too much, and you know what? They want to be grown so fast.
Atlanta police say an 18-year-old boy was shot in the arm after he says he confronted 3 masked males breaking into cars. He was taken to the hospital where he's expected to survive.
Thank God. I thank the Lord he's not dead. Children should be able to go to school. They should be able to enjoy their prom. They should be able to enjoy being at home after the prom or going to a friend's house after the prom. And then somebody want to shoot.
Whitener says this poses concerns about gun violence among youth.
These children are killing each other over words. Back in the day, you did this.
And as police say those involved ran away from the scene, Whitener hopes officers are able to get to the bottom of this very soon.
I hope they catch who did it. And this is just the beginning of prom season. You got graduations coming, all that kind of stuff. Summer. I just want it to stop. I just want children to find something better to do. Stay off social media. Know this. Life ain't a video game or a rap video. This real life. And if you shoot somebody, they gone. And then you ruin not only their life and your life, even if they live. And I am so glad that child's alive. But still, the trauma from it.
In Atlanta, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
So that's the very latest that we have on that shooting investigation. We will work to get updates on the victims involved in that shooting. And of course, if there are any suspects arrested in connection to that shooting, we will update you here, of course, because anytime something like that happens around our youth, we always want to make sure that those who are held accountable, we do notify you about that. So now I just want to move along because there was another shooting investigation that is underway right now in Metro Atlanta. This happened at a basketball court in Northwest Atlanta. And we actually just sent our photographer out there to go get some video of the scene of Etheridge Court Apartments. That's where the Atlanta Police Department tells us that early or it was last night, there was a basketball game going on, and then they received reports of a shooting. And when they got out there, they found a male who had been wounded. And then they also say that after that, they got word of another person that showed up to the hospital also wounded in that shooting. Let me just make sure I'm getting that all correctly. Yep. A second victim showed up to the hospital, grazed by a bullet. That was a female victim. And then police told us that what their preliminary investigation revealed is that apparently there was a driver who drove by, started shooting at the people on the basketball court, and at that point, the people on the basketball court fired back, and there was a shootout, and 2 people were essentially shot. Now, they're still working to confirm that the woman that showed up to the hospital later on was grazed by a bullet at that scene. They said they do believe that she is connected to that same shootout that took place. They believe that that's where she was wounded. But right now they do not have a suspect in that shooting investigation either. So quite a wild night and early morning for shootings. Anytime we have 2 shootings like that, I mean, as of right now, nothing was fatal that we know. That's the only silver lining. But we do just want to let you know that that is what was going on. Anytime it heats up outside, more people are taking to recreational spaces. It seems like that's when crime historically does heat up when it gets warm. So that's something that we are going to be anticipating. And it will be interesting to see if crime numbers do go down this summer as compared to last summer. So the Atlanta Police Department does a really good job at updating us on those numbers of homicides and other shootings and all of that. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. But that shooting specifically, they are still looking for a suspect. They did say that a number of cars also were riddled with bullets in that shootout. But we are working on getting some video from that scene. And of course, if any witnesses speak to us, you will hear from them right here. So thank you so much for joining me here at Atlanta News First on the First Alert Desk. We love sharing the news with you. We have a beautiful week in store because we aren't looking at too much rain, at least as of now. No first alert weather days in the forecast. We're going to be in the 70s and 80s. So it's going to be a great for you to wake up and get your workout in outside, get some sunshine. So enjoy that while we can and before the rain shows back up, because you know Mother Nature loves to do that. So yes, and please join us tonight at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock on Atlanta News First on our Peachtree TV station as well as ANF. So we love having you guys, and you make it worthwhile. So thanks again for joining me here. And if you guys want any more information on any of our other stories, you can always head to atlantanewsfirst.com. All right, take care.